Alright, let's select the two trigger housing pieces again and go into isolation mode, Alt Q. Alright, let's just look in the top view. Zoom out here into wireframe F3, and I'm just going to zoom in here on the end, and there's our opening for that piece. Alright, let's take a look. Alright, so it looks fairly simple. Alright, I might just start with a box again, so let's go back to the create panel and grab a box, and I'm just going to kind of drag one out in this hole. Alright, so I'm not going to go maybe right to the edge. I might leave it inset a little bit. Alright, I'm going to try to center it on the center line there. Kind of get it even. Alright, and we'll give it a little bit of height. Okay, just like that, and let's actually move it up so it's in the hole properly. Alright, so I'm just going to move it up in perspective. Alright, we'll look here in the left view. Alright, let's just cram it up there in the hole. Okay, and I'm just going to convert it to editable poly. Alright, and just grab the bottom verts and just pull them down a little bit more. Alright, you might have to adjust it after, I'm not sure how much clearance we're going to have, but we'll just do something like that. Okay, and I'm just going to change my color one more time. Alright, so just so it's sticking out a bit. Okay, and let's go into perspective. Alright, so we don't really need the top polygon because you're never going to see it, so let's select that guy first. Alright, so polygon, and select the top one. Alright, and just delete it. Left delete. Okay, and let's round the corners over a bit. You can see here they're kind of 45 degrees or so knocked off, so let's grab one of these and we'll just do a ring chamfer. Alright, one might be fine, so let's just hit apply and we'll just do a double here. Maybe 0.2 on the second amount should be fine, I think, and okay. Alright, and I think it just has this little pin piece that's just sticking in the center there, so I don't think I'll bother cutting the hole for it because I don't think it's really necessary. I think we'll just, add a little cylinder here that looks like that piece, but we should probably round over this edge. So let's select the bottom polygon, control click edge, and chamfer. Alright, I might do this one 0.2 and then hit apply and just take the second amount down a bit, just to round over the edge. Maybe 0.08 on the second amount, and okay. Alright, and we can exit edge. Alright, so pretty simple. Alright, and let's throw our gray shader on there. I might just put the smooth modifier on this guy as well, just because you can see it's kind of faceted. Alright, so let's do that. Back into the modify list, smooth, and auto smooth again. Alright, we're not really going to see that piece too much, but I'll just do it with auto smoothing because it's quick. If you want to take more time and actually assign smoothing groups, again, it might be a good idea. You'll probably get a nicer result. Alright, but we'll say that's good for that piece, so let's actually start building the pin for it. Okay, so I'm going to go back into isolation mode, Alt Q. Alright, just so we have just this piece. Alright, and we'll go into the top view again. And I'm just going to go back to the create panel and grab another cylinder. Alright, we'll drag one out here and try to center it on that piece. Alright, let's go maybe 1.7 or so on the radius. Alright, give it a bit of height. Alright, we'll say 1.7. We probably don't need to do 40 sides, so I'm just going to take that down to maybe like 30. Alright, it is pretty small. Okay, and let's get it into position. Alright, so I'm just going to move it up. Alright, and I think I'll just stick it, just intersecting the box. Alright, just like that. Okay, so let's convert that to editable poly. Alright, and we can delete this top polygon, we don't need it. So delete that guy, and I think we'll just round the bottom over a bit. So let's select this one, control click edge again, and chamfer. Alright, let's look at a reference here. Alright, so you can't even really tell what it looks like, so let's just guess. Alright, so I might do it maybe 0.15, and then I'll hit apply, and we'll just roll it over a little more. Alright, maybe 0.06 on the second amount, and okay. Alright, exit edge, and again I'm just going to change my color. Alright, and let's unhide the hammer so we can see how much clearance we're going to have here. So I'm going to right click, unhide by name, and just select the hammer and unhide it. Alright, you can see it's sticking right into the top, so let's move the cylinder up. Alright, just give it a bit of clearance. Alright, maybe like that. And if you wanted to, you could always go to border and just pull that down. Doesn't really matter though, it's inside. Okay, so that's probably all we really need to do for these pieces, because again, you're never really going to probably be able to see them too good. Okay, so let's just name them. I'm just going to call this one, I guess, hammer pin or something. I don't know what it is actually called. Alright, and let's put the smooth modifier on that guy. Auto smooth again, and center the pivot. Alright, and let's just name this something as well. So I'll just call it, I don't know, hammer box. Okay, center the pivot. Alright, so let's exit isolation mode now. Alright, and just take a look. I'm just going to hit Z. Select the hammer and hit Z again. Alright, so make sure that's going to be okay. Everything looks like it's fitting fine. Alright, and we're not exact to the reference, but that's okay. I think we're close enough. Alright, so let's save. Alright, so one thing I might do just to add a little more detail to this, if we turn off our edges, it's looking kind of plain here on the side. Alright, so maybe we should add a seam down there, just to give it a little extra detail before we move on. Okay, so let's select both the trigger housing pieces. Alright, we'll go into isolation mode, Alt Q. Okay, and I'm just going to select one side. Alright, we'll go into the modify panel. I'm just going to delete the smooth modifier temporarily. Alright, hit the little garbage can button, and we'll go down to attach, and just click on this piece to attach them together. Alright, let's weld them. Alright, so I'm just going to go to border, and just drag through. Get that outer border, and I also want to get the one inside the trigger hole, so I'm just going to hold control and get that one. Alright, and I don't think we need to probably do the inside of the screw holes. I think I'll just leave them. Alright, so just like that, it looks like 268 edges is what you should have. Okay, so let's control click vertex. Alright, zoom in here. Alright, let's open up weld. Alright, and point 1 should be, I think, fine. Our verts are pretty much right on top of each other, so let's just hit OK. Alright, and you can see we have 134 verts now. Alright, that's half what we started with, so that's fine. It all welded. Okay, so let's go back to edge. And I'm just going to reselect this. Alright, that one and this one on the inside of the trigger hole, and we'll loop. Alright, it should be 134 now. Okay, and let's just chamfer this edge a little bit. Alright, maybe 0.15, and okay. And then let's zoom in here and just grab one of these little edges between those two loops. And we'll do the same thing on the inside of the trigger hole. Control click one of these guys. Alright, and ring. Alright, so 134 edges again, and control click polygon. Alright, and we just want to have the little seam strip of polys all the way around the inside of the trigger hole and the outside of the entire thing. Okay, so let's just do a quick seam. Alright, so let's open up extrude, and we want to be on local normal here, just so it's going to be even all the way around, and we'll take the height down. Alright, we're going to have to be careful here, again, just like before. If we go too low, the corner edges are probably going to start to cross, as you can see there. Alright, so let's just make sure we don't go that low. Alright, let's do maybe negative 0.13, and okay. Alright, and let's just chamfer these guys down. I'm just going to go into wireframe here. Just want to make sure I'm not going to select anything else. Alright, let's just grab these guys here, and we'll do a loop. Alright, let's go down to the inside of the trigger hole and do the same thing. I'm just going to control click those guys. Alright, so just anything that's on the seam, and loop again. Alright, like that. Looks like it should be 536 edges. Alright, and let's just knock the corners off really slightly. Alright, so chamfer again, and we'll do a tiny little amount. Doesn't have to be much. Maybe 0.02, and okay. Alright, I think that should be fine. I'll just give it a little extra detail. Okay, so let's exit edge. Just take a look here. F4. Alright, so we got a little seam going around. Alright, that'll also help just sell it that, you know, it's two pieces actually screwed together. Alright, so that's probably cool for that piece. I think we can finally move on. Alright, let's just do another save, now that that's finished. And let's exit isolation mode. Okay, just gonna hit Z. Alright, so we're getting there. We still have some stuff to do here. We got another couple of bands we have to add back here for the scope up on top and the handle. Alright, so we'll do that. Then we got the two that hold the trigger onto the barrel. And then finally we have two more that hold on the sight there at the end. Alright, so it's taken a while, but we're getting close. Alright, and after we're done that stuff, we'll move on and actually create the rocket, which shouldn't take too long. It's not as bad as it looks. Alright, so I think just to finish the center off here, let's just get these two guys out of the way. Alright, then we'll be done completely with this centerpiece. Alright, because it seems like we've been working on that forever. Alright, so yeah, let's do that first. Alright, so I'm going to select the trigger housing. Alright, just going to put the smooth modifier back on that guy before I forget. Alright, so smooth and then auto smooth. Okay, so with that selected, I'm just going to select the barrel, holding control, and just right click and hide unselected. Alright, just so we can just see these two pieces. Okay, and let's go into the front view. Alright, so let's take a look at the reference. Okay, so basically we're going to have to kind of repeat the process we used when we started on the other bands down at the end. These guys back here. Alright. But it's pretty simple, it shouldn't take too long. Okay, so I think we'll just start with a tube again. And just kind of do what we did earlier. Alright, so let's go back to create panel to standard primitives, grab a tube, and I'm just going to drag one out here. Alright. Give it a little width and height. Alright, let's get it lined up with the barrel, so we'll go to the line tool again and click on the barrel. And again, you want X, Y, Z and both pivot points ticked, and OK. Alright, so let's just move it back. Take one more look here. Alright, so there's a little bit of thickness to them. Okay, so let's go into the modify panel. We'll just tweak the radius until we get it where we need it. Let's say 15.5 for radius 1, and we'll just do 16.5 for radius 2, just to make it even. The height we can do manually, so let's just leave that, and we don't need any height segments, and I think I'll do 60 sides on this, just like before, just so it's nice and smooth when we're done. Okay, so let's convert it to editable poly. Alright, just going to change the color on it too. Okay, I'm just going to right click and unhide by name. Alright, and unhide our blueprint one more time. Okay, and we'll go into the left view and just get this thing lined up and everything the right thickness. Okay, so I'm just going to drag it back. Alright, and let's go to vertex, and I'm just going to grab all the verts on the right side, and again, make sure you don't have back facing on, and we'll just drag this over. Alright, I don't think I'm going to go the complete width of this piece here. I might leave a little bit of a reveal around that. Alright, so just something like that. Just go to where you're happy with it. Alright, we'll exit vertex, and let's go back into the front view. Alright, so both sides of this are pretty much the same, so there's no reason to make both sides separately. We'll just do it like we did before. We'll make one side and then copy it over. Alright, so let's go to polygon and just delete half of it. Just going to delete the right side. Hit delete. Okay, and then we also need our little tab piece to come down here and attach to this side, so let's just delete a couple more of these. Alright, might grab these 4 chunks on the end there, those 16 polys, and delete them. Okay, and let's go to vertex. Alright, just going to zoom in here. And we can probably put our edge constraints on for this. Alright, so I'm just going to go into edit geometry and down to edge. Alright, and let's just grab these guys on the end and just move them back a bit. I'm just going to kind of straighten this out. Alright, and let's turn these off. Go back to none. Alright, we'll grab both and I'm just going to pull them over a little bit and down. Alright, just kind of line it up with the outer edge there. Alright, and we can probably use this edge to make the outside of the tab, so let's turn the edge constraints back on one more time and just straighten this out. Okay, and we'll drag all 4 of those back a little bit. Okay, just like that. Let's go to polygon, and I'm just going to drag through the center here, and then hold Alt and deselect these guys. Alright, we just want that bottom one selected. Check it out in perspective. Alright, just that guy there. Okay, and let's go back to the front view. Alright, and we'll just extrude. Alright, and take the height down a bit. Alright, maybe 5, doesn't matter, we'll move it manually, and hit OK. Alright, and I'm going to turn off my edge constraints again, go to none, and then just drag the poly over. Okay, just going to try to get a straight line on the sides. Okay, and let's straighten off the bottom. Alright, and then we'll grab these 4 guys at the bottom, and we'll just do this in the left view. Alright, so with those guys selected, we'll just pull it down. Alright, I might stop just before the bottom of it. Just like that. Okay, let's take a look in perspective. Okay, just like that, pretty simple. And let's go into isolation mode again, Alt Q. Alright, so we're going to have to add some support edges. We are going to turbo smooth this, but let's fill the hole in the back first, this guy. Okay, so let's go back to border, and just grab that border and cap it. Okay, and let's add some support. Alright, so back to edge, and let's just get one of these guys and do a ring. Alright, and a connect. 2 segments, no slide, and I'm just going to pinch them apart. Alright, maybe 95 or so on the pinch, and OK. And let's add a couple around the sides. Alright, so grab one, control click one on the other side, and ring. And connect. Alright, 2 segments again, I'm just going to lower the pinch amount down. Alright, maybe 50 or so for those, and OK. Alright, and we're also going to need to do a couple on the tab piece. Let's grab all these guys and connect. 2 segments again, no slide, and I'm just going to pinch them apart. Alright, we'll do maybe 95 for those, and OK. Alright, we're going to need one more across here to hold the corner, so let's add it. Alright, so we'll grab one of those guys. Ring again, connect again. This time we'll do 1 segment, no pinch, and I'm just going to slide it over closer to the corner. Maybe 80, and OK. Alright, and then lastly we'll just add a couple around the tab piece. So let's grab a corner, do a ring, connect again. Alright, and this time we'll do 2, no slide, and just pinch them apart. Maybe 50 again on the pinch should be cool, and OK. Alright, so just like that. That should be good for the support, I think. Alright, so we're going to cut the hole in the same way, but let's just add another seam down the center. Alright, so let's grab one of those edges and do a ring, and we'll just do a connect. 1 segment, no pinch, no slide, and OK. Alright, just like we did on the first pieces we made, and we'll add another one across here, so let's grab these guys and just hit connect. Alright, just like that, and again this is going to be bent because of our angle up here. Alright, so let's straighten it out in the front view. Alright, so with that loop selected in the center, I'm just going to control click vertex, and then go down and use the make planar options again and just hit Y. Alright, just straighten everything up, make it easier to cut our hole. Alright, and back to the left view, and I'm just going to move this up a little bit so it's a little more even. Alright, that should be fine, just like that. Alright, so let's go up to the top, turn off vertex, and again I'm just going to use a circle to make it a little quicker. Okay, so let's go back to the create panel to shapes, down to circle. Alright, and we'll just drag one out in the center here like we did before. Alright, this one probably doesn't need to be huge. Let's just do maybe, let's say 1.5 on the radius. Okay, and we want 8 sides again. Alright, so if you don't have 8 sides, just go into the modify panel and open up the interpolation and just lower your steps down to 1. Okay. Alright, just gonna make sure this is kind of centered again. Like that. And select our bracket and go to cut. Alright, and we'll just turn the snaps on again. And again, you can always right click and make sure you just have vertex turned on. Alright, and we'll just do this quick. So let's start here at the edge and just go around clicking on each point. Alright, back to where we started, click and then right click. Okay, and let's do it on the other side, so let's change our view from left to right. Alright, wireframe F3, and we'll just repeat on this side. Alright, right click to end, and we can turn off cut. Alright, so I'm just going to get rid of this circle, we don't need it, so let's hit H and just select the circle and delete it. Left delete. Alright, we can change our view back to left. Alright, so let's check it out in perspective and make sure it cut it in okay on both sides. Alright, looks good. Alright, so let's just quad it up. Alright, back to vertex. Alright, grab two diagonal ones and connect. Alright. Just like that, and we'll do this side. Alright, and connect. Alright, just so it's all quads again. And let's go to polygon, and I'm just going to turn on ignore back facing for a second, and we'll just select these guys that make up the whole. We're going to both sides holding control. And let's inset. So open up inset, and we'll just lower the amount down. Alright, maybe 0.1, and okay, and then let's punch it through with bridge. So we'll just hit bridge. Okay, looks good. Back to edge. There, we can turn off ignore back facing now. Alright, let's just add some support on the inside of the hole again. So we'll grab one ring, connect two segments, and just pinch them apart a bit. Alright, maybe 60 should be cool, and okay. Alright, so let's exit edge. Alright, looks good. I think we shouldn't have any problems. Alright, so let's go into the front view. Alright, and I think we'll just use the symmetry modifier again, so let's put one on. Alright, modify list, down to symmetry. Okay, we want to do this on the x-axis, and I'm just going to hit flip. Okay, just so it's sitting in there properly. And let's check it out in perspective. Alright, looks pretty good. Okay, so let's right click and convert it to editable poly. Alright, and let's chuck a turbo smooth on this. Alright, down to modify list, turbo smooth, and again we'll use two iterations, and I'm just going to turn on isoline display to hide some of the edges. Alright, so let's turn our edges off of F4 and just take a look. Sure we don't have any problems. Alright, looks good. Okay, so I'm just going to exit isolation mode now. Alright, just going to hit Z. Alright, just take a quick look, make sure it's fitting properly. Alright, looks pretty good. Alright, so let's just name it something. I'm just going to call it maybe, I don't know, trigger band or something, just so I know it's that one. Okay, and we'll center the pivot on it, so hierarchy tab, effect pivot only, center object, and then turn it off. Alright, so just like that, and let's do a save. Alright, so before we copy it down to this end, let's actually add a little screw to it. Just take a look here. Alright, so it's not slotted like the other ones we made. It looks like it could be a Phillips head, I'm not really sure what that is. Alright, so we'll just make something kind of simple. Alright, let's go into the left view. Alright, just going to turn off my snaps here first, and then we'll go to the create panel to standard primitives and just grab a cylinder. I think we'll use one of those again. Alright, so let's drag one out here. It might just go a little bigger than the hole. Give it some height. Okay, and let's get it into position. I'm just going to move it over again. Alright, hit Z. Alright, let's just shove it over there. Alright, so I'm not sure how big these are. They're fairly big, so let's go into the modify panel. I'm just going to take the radius down to maybe 2. Alright, that looks about right. Alright, we're going to cover up our hole here, so we probably actually could have got away with not putting the hole in the band, but that's okay. Alright, so let's get rid of the height segments. Take those down to 1. Alright, sides I'm just going to do maybe like 30 again. Okay, and let's convert it to editable poly. Just change the color. Alright, so let's go to polygon. Just grab this one. I'm just going to move this in a bit. Alright, and I think I'll try to round the face out a bit on this one as well, just because it looks like it is on here. They look pretty rounded out. Okay, so let's inset. Alright, we'll do this a couple of times. Maybe 0.5, and I'll just hit apply 2 more times, and OK. Alright, let's grow the selection twice. Alright, you can probably see this easier from the front view. Alright, so I'll just move that out. Okay, and then I'm going to hit shrink and move these guys out. Take a look here. Alright, we'll hit shrink one more time and just move this guy out. Alright, just like that. And I think I might just push this in just to give it a little bit of a, a recess similar to this, because I can't really tell what that looks like. Alright, so let's just extrude. Okay, we'll go down to a negative amount. Just push that in. Let's go down a bit more. Maybe negative 0.75 and OK. Alright, and let's control click edge. Alright, to get that inner edge, and we'll just control click one of these guys and loop it and just chamfer them out. Alright, so chamfer. Alright, maybe 0.1, and I'm just going to hit apply, and we'll just round this out a bit more. Alright, maybe 0.03, and OK. Alright, and let's do these guys too, just to give it a smoother face. Alright, so take these two, and loop, and chamfer. Alright, just go up a bit on this, just so we have a little extra resolution. Alright, maybe 0.12, and OK, and then we'll do this guy here and this guy at the same time. Alright. Actually, we'll do just this one. Alright, and chamfer. Alright, maybe 0.1 and then apply. And maybe 0.05 for that one. And OK. Alright, let's do the back edge. Just going to go back to polygon. Okay, and into wireframe F3. And spin around here and just grab the back face. Okay, and control click edge. Alright. And then we'll do this one. Alright, so chamfer. Maybe I'll just do 0.06 on that, and OK. You're not really going to see the back of it anyway. Okay, so we'll exit edge. Alright, just make sure it's sitting against the surface of our bracket. Okay, I'm not going to bother putting the shaft on this one. I don't think we really need to waste our time doing that. Alright, so pretty simple, and let's just chuck the smooth modifier on this guy again, just to make sure it's kind of smooth. Alright, and auto smoothing. Alright, so just like that. And again, it might not be exact to the reference, but that's okay. It's going to look, fairly right when you're way out here. Alright, so it's going to apply my gray shader to the band. Okay, and let's name this piece. I'm just going to select the band there and just copy the name. And then select the screw. And just paste the name on that and just add screw to the end. Alright, just to keep organized, and let's center the pivot on it. So Arc tab, effect only, center object, turn it off. Alright, and we'll just select the band and the screw. Actually, let's put the screw on the other side before we do that. Alright, so select it, go into the top view. Okay, and I'm just going to go to rotate. And again, I still have my angle snaps turned on here. And we'll just shift, rotate a copy, 180. Alright, copy and OK, and then we'll just move this to the other side. Alright, just before we clone it. Check this out in the front view. Alright, so just move it out so it's sticking like that. Okay, it looks like my band's off a little bit here from this side. Just a tiny bit. Okay, so what I might do just to fix that, before we move on, let's just go back into the modify panel with the band selected, and we'll drop down into edit poly. Alright, and we'll go to vertex, and I'm just going to select this half. Alright, and then just try to push it over just a bit. Alright, don't want to go too much, else it's going to go inside the barrel. Alright, just so it's fitting a little better like that. Okay, and let's make sure it's okay up here. Alright, so we'll exit vertex, turn our turbo smooth back on. Let's just make sure it's going to be okay before we copy it. Alright, I think that's okay. Alright, so let's just position the screw here. Just going to push it in a bit. Okay, like that. Alright, so now we'll select both screws and the band. And we'll just copy it down to this side. Let's do that in the left view. Alright, so just shift drag a copy on the X down to the front. Alright, and okay. Just going to kind of center it here. Alright, so just like that. And let's just take a look, make sure everything's alright. Alright, looks pretty good. Alright, so I think we're finally done with that piece. I know I keep saying that, but this time, for sure, I think we don't have anything else to do, so let's save and move on.